Right. So, hello, everyone. We are joined today by Isabela from Brazil, who is going to share a little bit about her experience at FIU and in the Career Accelerator program. So, Isabela, thank you so much for taking the time to have a quick conversation with us. And I'll let you, I'll let you take it away and just, introduce yourself, where you're from, what your major was, what your goals are, anything that you'd like to share about yourself.
Okay, so like John said, my name is Isabella. I'm from Brazil. My major at FIU was international business and finance. I decided to do a double major. Initially, I started with just international business, but then I developed this passion with finance through, the help of my parents, since I saw them getting involved in that field. And then from there, I developed this goal. It's very ambitious, but I hope to one day become the CFO of a corporation, maybe, Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan. That's like my top goal for maybe 30 years from now, because I know it takes a while for you to get there. But more of a short-term goal, I just want to land a job, which is the process that I'm going through right now through some interviews. And hopefully I'll be able to get that.
Oh, thanks for sharing, and I'm sure that you will. And I am not surprised at all that you have ambitious goals. That's basically your middle name is ambitious. Um, but let's back up a little bit, all the way back to that very first semester at FIU, as you're coming in, and you don't know much about what FIU is about or what opportunities they are. Just share a little bit about how you were feeling at the time, and what were some of the biggest challenges you were facing early in that first semester.
I think the biggest thing is that I was very nervous because that was going to be my first time that I would be, living abroad without a family member or without knowing anyone. So I was very nervous about that. I think I was very concerned about not being able to do everything by myself. So that was like the first challenge that I had. But once I got settled in, I noticed that was just going to be a piece of cake. Like living by yourself is not really that big of a deal. And if you go through the Global First Year program, you get to know a lot of people and you get the support that you actually need in order to succeed. So then once that phase was done, what I had on my mind was, what do I have to do in order to be a good student, in order to get the grades that I actually want to get so that I can graduate, with honors. And I just studied like crazy, that's for sure. And I also got a lot of help from, the advisors, be it from FIU or Global First Year itself. And that's what I had on my mind, right at first.
Sure. And I'm so glad to hear that, maybe you came with, a little bit of, nervousness and maybe even a little bit of loneliness. And then the kind of global first year family really helped you through that period. And there was a lot of support you mentioned. And one of the things that you decided to participate in, and I know that you studied a lot, but you
Yeah.
also got involved with a lot of things on campus. And one of those things was the Career Accelerator program. So share with us, how you first heard about the Career Accelerator program, and what was so interesting about it to you, and why did you decide to participate?
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you told me about it, since it is a Global First Year initiative. If not you, then definitely someone else from Global First Year. And I think what just got me so interested about the program itself is that I knew that I would be able to develop myself professionally. Because I know that when it comes to my personal life, I already had all the skills that I needed to have in order to succeed in a social setting, but maybe I didn't have all the skills that I needed in order to succeed in an interview, or, like how to answer those questions properly, how to handle an elevator pitch when I'm introducing myself to a recruiter or to a future employer or something like that. So I think what got me so interested in the program is that I knew that you would be teaching me all those skills. And since I've always had such a big ambition when it comes to, like landing a big job and having a big position in a company, I just thought that that would be ideal for me at the time.
Sure. Yeah. And clearly, as we're going to learn soon about all of your accomplishments, you really developed those skills, those networking skills, communication skills, and learning how to answer interview questions. But tell us a little bit about, what is it like to be in the Career Accelerator program? What was the experience like, and what do you think the most valuable things you got from it were?
I think that since I got to do it with some of my peers, that really helped a lot, because I felt like I was in an environment that I was safe to say whatever I wanted to say and to ask questions whenever I needed to ask questions if I had, like any concerns about whatever material it was that you were teaching. So that was very valuable for me. And also learning from someone that has had other jobs in the past and that has landed interviews, talking about you, of course. I feel like that definitely helped out a lot because you did bring a lot of knowledge to the table. And I think that all the exercises that we did together, be it individually or as a team, one exercise that I definitely remember, and I think I'm never going to forget about it, is the one that we got to figure out what our values were and like what our main skills. I don't remember if that's really the word that we used at the time, but just like pretty much our core values and what we have to bring to the table when we're presenting ourselves to other people or figuring out what type of position we want to get in the future. I think that was extremely valuable for me. I still have that document saved on my laptop, with my core values and everything that we found out during that meeting. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All around, it was a great experience.
Great. I'm glad to hear. And it's a common thing that students get from it, understanding what is important to them, what their core values are, what their strengths are, I think is what you're referring to.
Yes.
And how to present that, right? How to position your brand when you're having that conversation with an employer so that it's attractive to them. So I know that you've done that. So why don't you share with us a little bit about some of the results you've gotten? So some, jobs or accomplishments you've had after completing the Career Accelerator.
Okay. So I think the first job that I got, and it was still while I was doing the program with you guys, it was an on-campus job as a tutor. And I think that if I hadn't done some of the exercises that we did during the Career Accelerator program, even though it was just in the beginning, I think I would have been extremely nervous about introducing myself to the recruiter that actually got me to work there as a tutor. So that really helped out. But once I started actually looking for internships in my field, I know for a fact that it just helped me land the job that I actually got. So as you know, I was an intern for MasterCard. I did two separate internships with them, one in finance as a financial and planning analyst, and the other one in the digital payments department, which was more of a technological role, so something a little bit different from what I studied, but still there was a lot of that analysis aspect in it, which was very interesting. And I think that the Career Accelerator program definitely just helped me land those questions and land the job. And when you interview with a company as big as MasterCard, they're not only going to ask you, like personality questions to see if you're a good fit to the team and to the company itself, but they're going to ask you a bunch of questions about, like skills that you have and actually technical questions. And I think that without your help, maybe I wouldn't have been able to do it because there are very specific questions that they ask and some answers that they're looking for. And if you just go into the interview without some sort of preparation, then the chances of you actually getting the job are very small.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing and great insight. Preparation is key to getting the results and achieving what you want to achieve. And I'm glad to hear that it sounds like developed a lot of confidence in your ability to interview, and not only to interview, but really to sell yourself. I
Yeah.
think is the big thing when it comes to being in an interview or talking to employers at a career fair. So Isabel, I really thank you so much for sharing your story. And if just to close, I have one final question for you, and that's, going back and putting yourself in the mindset of those students who, are in their first semester in FIU in global first year, and they're busy and they've got a lot to do. They're trying to study hard. They have goals, and they hear about things to do on campus. Maybe they hear about the Career Accelerator program, and they're not sure if they should do it or even if they have enough time to do it. What would be your advice for those students?
I think the number one thing is, well, first of all, never give up because we're all busy. I was always very busy throughout my 4 years of college, and I still, try to get the time to actually do the program because it is very helpful. So I think the number one thing that they have to keep in mind is that if you have big goals, which I'm pretty sure all of them do, then you should do it. Just make time for it. I know that maybe, during the time that you're actually in the program, your schedule might be a little bit more full than you want it to be, but it is definitely worth it because you're going to grow extremely as a person and professionally. And like you said before, I'm very confident in talking to other people now and talking to recruiters, and it is thanks to that program. So I think that, like if I had to look back and ask myself, do I regret, having to do like all those extra hours and maybe not having as much time to go out and party or hang out with my friends? No, I don't regret it at all. I think it was extremely important. And I mean, we're in college to grow professionally, not just to meet other people. I think the main goal is for us to grow professionally. So I think that, I mean, you shouldn't even ask yourself twice, just go ahead and do it. It might be a little bit crazy in the beginning, but you'll get used to it. It is totally worth it.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that and really great insights and advice. And I just want to say that throughout our conversation here today, you've like really been beaming with confidence, even in your tone and everything. So just acknowledging the progress that you've made. So great job, Isabel. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. No problem.